Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to a new edition of the Big Joel Show. I'm very excited today because I have my friend Brittany. Now I'm gonna butcher it a little bit. Picolo
Ramos or Ramos.
Ramos,
It
Ramos or
doesn't matter.
Ramos.
You can call me anything.
On
I'm a middle child.
a middle child, exactly. On the phone with me, coming in live from. I don't want to make anybody in any other cities mad at me, but from my favorite city in the U.S. Because those of you know I'm a Tulane graduate, and she's coming in hot from New Orleans, Louisiana, right now.
Very hot.
Yeah, is it hot there or is it cold?
No, it's freezing.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Freezing to us is like 60 degrees.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. I'm gonna just very quickly tell you to shut up because that's not that cold. So I have got Brittany here with me today, and I'm excited. And Brittany is one of the top real estate agents in New Orleans Metro. Brittany, you are with Keller Williams still, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I just want to give you some of the bona fides on Brittany real quick. 2016, 101 units for $22 million. She has a lower average sale price there, and we all know it's all about the units. 119 units in 2017 for $30 million, and we're projecting right now for 2018, 121 units for $34 million, which is pretty awesome and puts you in an elite group because, Brittany, it's all about the units. And obviously, I think the average agent might sell 7-8 houses a year, and you're selling 121 houses. So that's a lot. So I want to just talk to you today about how you run your business, what you do, how you got where you are. Brittany, how old are you? Tell everybody.
I'm 34.
34. How long you been selling real estate?
This is my fourth year.
Fourth year. See, everybody listen up. Fourth year. What'd you do before, Brittany?
Prostitution.
Brittany, you need to stop that. What'd you do before?
I worked for Sprint, the telecommunications, and I was one of their first. I started off as a manager, and then realized I'd made a lot more money as a salesperson, so I demoted myself, and I went into. I was like, I'm a very common sense person, so I'm like, wait, I do less work and I make more money. I'm like, I will take option B because I don't really care about titles. Like, that's never been a thing to me. Like Marco, my husband, loves to be the manager. He loves to be the one in charge. I hate responsibility, even though like I'm a team leader and a business owner now. So I've been dragged into responsibility. But I was one of the top salespeople in at Sprint, which I thought was normal. Like I remember I was 9 months pregnant and they asked me, I got like something in the mail saying, hey, congratulations, you're one of the top salespeople in the nation. You get a bonus, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know my numbers, which is terrible. I didn't know. I just loved selling. Like I love people and I love matching them with the right situation. So I got a huge reputation. They called me the Sprint girl in New Orleans, which I don't know if that's a good thing, especially because their service is, but their prices are aggressive. So if you're looking for cell phone service and you're on a dime, call me. No, I'm sure I don't sell for them. But it's really, that's where I think I really learned how to hone my sales ability and my ability to read people and match them with the right situation because there's so many different options. So I'm really grateful for my time there. And then one day I hurt my back and I couldn't walk. And I had been praying and thinking about what I was going to do. And I kept feeling like I was supposed to do real estate, but I'm like every realtor I had known prior, even though my sister's in real estate, she's great. She's the #1 agent at Nashville. That's a whole nother thing. But, and so me being the little sister, I'm like, I don't want to do anything that my sister does. So I fought doing real estate and was like, I don't want to do it at all. But my sister, kept saying I should get in real estate. Other people kept saying I should get in real estate. And I kept feeling like I should. But again, I didn't want to be compared to her. But when I hurt my back, I got a call from a friend out of the blue asking me to sell like some skincare product. And I said, no, but I think I should get in real estate. And she was an agent. And then I joined her team and the rest was history.
And so, everyone, that was a long answer to getting where Brittany is. No. I mean that in a good way. I'm glad you explained it. But Brittany, you've been selling real estate for 4 years and you're going to sell 121 houses this year. So that message alone, we could end the podcast right now just to let everyone know, hey, if you actually work and you think about what you're doing, the world is yours. You can do whatever you want. So Brittany, tell me a little bit about, so you're 34, you're married, I know you have one daughter, right? What is her name?
Her name's Picolo-Ramos.
And how old is she?
She is
Brittany.
She is 5 years old.
She's 5 years. Well, she's 5 going on 25, correct? So
she is a hardcore negotiator. I'm already like thinking about her future.
Exactly.
I'm like, let me know when you want to get into real estate.
Well, what you don't realize is they're listening to. If you talk to any of my older kids, they will tell you stories about driving around the back seat of the car with me and me shushing them. On the phone with someone. Going, shh, I'm on the phone with someone. Do this, do that. Write the contract like this. That's all they hear. That's all she's hearing is you doing that.
I love that.
And then, of course, she has your gene pool anyway. And then she's hearing that. So, yeah.
She actually put on her on a sheet. She put on a sheet saying, they were like, "What does your mommy do? What does your mommy do?" She said, "Go on appointments."
Yeah.
So
exactly. So tell me about tell me how your team. Tell us what you do all day to start with, because you're a mom and I know you're a good mom, and we're going to talk about social media in a little bit because you use that really well, but I know you're a good mom and I know you spend time with your family. So tell me a little bit about like what your day looks like. You're busy. You're selling 10 houses a month. What does it look like?
It's really interesting because I have never really I actually just, started really looking at my business, because from the beginning to where I am now, I just shot out of the cannon. And I remember within the first couple of weeks, or in my first couple of months of business, I had 10, 13 houses on the board and under contract. And I thought that was totally normal. It wasn't. So that was cool to find out. But I had a new baby. And I think with being a mom and being a successful business person, I wake up every morning intentional about my day. And I think I'm just starting to goal set, but in the beginning, it was how many appointments can I do today? And I was challenging myself every single day. How many conversations, how many people can I touch? And I just heard a very interesting teaching, and it was talking about consistency in conversations, and that consistency in conversations will revolutionize your business. And I am consistently a workaholic. I'm consistently every day I'm looking at it. What can I do? How much business can I take care of in one day and pack it in there? And conversations. I talk to everyone and their grandma. And I think for me, being a mom and actually doing this business, I never think about it. I just kind of continue with mom life. Like if I drop Sophiana off at school, I'm talking to 3 or 4 people. Oh my gosh, how are you doing? Because I'm a mom and they're moms. Have you seen what's going on with the real estate market? Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. Because people always see me on social media, so they're always asking me about real estate. So I'm constantly plugging it into my conversations. And so even if I'm in the line at McDonald's or, wherever, I never think about business and life separately. I always kind of let them come together and make a sweet baby.
It's so funny that you said that. I had someone on earlier today, actually an agent in Nashville. You'll see her podcast. Great lady. And we were talking about social media, and we can hop over to that now if you want and then come back. But she was saying, one of the biggest mistakes people make is do what they tell you to do, and that's to have a business page and a personal page. She's like, no, It's all together. It's like she literally said what you just said, and it's so important. And I told her, I said, you just made a lot of Facebook consultants really mad. That are selling stuff that are having agents buy stuff. To have these elaborate business pages, which. I mean, you've heard me talk a bunch of times, like, who cares? Yeah. They don't care. They want to see literally what boots your daughter picked, and you went at it with her not to wear those boots. I mean, they want to see what you were doing, what you and your husband were doing, where you were, what you were up to. That's what they want to see. And the key is, listen, there's no way. I mean, you said how many touches, and it's important for everyone to hear, a lot of times with the way you all are training, and there's training you all have, you could look at some of these things as impersonal or insincere. And I want everyone to know, because I actually know you, I've spent time with you. This is not like Brittany says, okay, today I'm going to touch 121 people and I'm going to say this. No. These are sincere touches. Brittany is not calling someone to say, who do you know who needs to buy or sell a house? That is not what's going on. Brittany is calling to someone to say, hey, what's up? What are you doing? Are you going to the Saints game? Are you?
Yeah.
I want to clarify that.
Okay. So I'm a mom and I'm Italian and I want to fix everyone's life. So for me, right? I'm talking to people like I have solutions because I know me and I know I'm a freaking rock star. And I know that when I bought a house, I felt and I didn't have an agent that I really knew and trusted. I felt very vulnerable, very scared, very unsure. And I never want anyone to feel that way. So when I'm having conversations, I want to get in people's lives to see how can I help them? And because there is someone I know that they need, there is something I know that they need, and there's so much. I am a wealth of knowledge. And I don't say that to be big-headed, but I say that because one thing that I can sell is myself, because I can look myself in the mirror. People used to say, oh, you need to sell pharmaceuticals, or, oh, you need to sell cars because you're so good in sales. I am actually a terrible salesperson, because if I don't 100% believe in a product, I can't sell it. When people would come into Sprint, I would be like, they're not the best service. They're a good price, but this is what they provide and I would give them solutions. And people are sick and tired of being sold, and they want to be helped. And so I think if you lead every conversation off with how can I help you? What's going on in your life? You will revolutionize your business, and you will also revolutionize your life, because most people are this is a gimme world. And when you're walking up to people and saying, how can I be a blessing to you? How can I help you? That'll revolutionize you.
And that you just said something that I'm telling you right now I'm stealing. I'm going to swipe and adapt it. And you should take this in very complimentary. You said, I'm a terrible salesperson. That is such a huge concept for people here. I say this all the time. You realize you can't sell anything to anyone. You need to be in the right place when they want to buy it. Yeah. If you have to sell it to them, it usually doesn't go well. If you have to talk them into it, I don't care what it is, it usually doesn't.
Everyone hates salespeople.
And
everyone hates salespeople.
The example I always use is what happens when you walk into, I use Best Buy, by the way. I like Best Buy. This isn't against Best Buy, but you walk into Best Buy.
And if you want to promote us.
No, but you walk into Best Buy and you got, the blue vests on you and your hands are up like this. No, just looking. Yeah. Stop. Because you don't want to be sold anything, but you'll get one of them. And if hey, can you help me with this TV, or can you help me with that? And it's such a huge concept. And then you went into people are sick and tired of being sold. And think about the industry that we're both in different ways. That's how you all are taught. People ask me all the time, Joel, do you have a script for that? I'm like, no, I do not. And I won't.
Do you know
and
that
even
I've
if I had it, I wouldn't give it to you.
I've never been in a sales class, and I've never read a sales book. Your book was the first one I ever read.
Wow. I didn't even ask her to say that. Thank you, Brittany.
It's true. It's true. It's the only one I ever read, because I love your heart for people. I think that you have a very genuineness about you, and you are bringing people back to the heart of people. And that's why I really enjoyed your book. But I've never read a sales book in my entire life.
Yeah. And it's probably good you didn't, because it didn't get in the way of doing what you do. I mean, I did not realize, I tell you, we might have discussed this, and I'm going to be honest, I might have been eating while you were talking. I'm just putting it out there. If we were in a restaurant or something, but I didn't realize you've only been selling real estate for 4 years, and you're selling 120 houses this year. I mean, I know why, because I know you. I've seen you in action. I know why. So, Brittany, let's do this, because you're a fawn. You know what a fawn is? F-O-N, a fawn. Force of nature. Okay, that's what you are, meaning wall. Okay, I'm going to be on the other side of that wall or through that wall in 2 seconds.
My husband calls me a wrecking ball.
Okay, there you go. It's all in the same genre. So I want to take it, I want to dial it down, and I want to give people, you already, by the way, gave people like a lot of really good advice to start, okay? But let's get a little tactical, just a little tactical. And I know you're calling people, and I know you're on the phone all day, and I know you pretend that you're a hurricane, that you're Hurricane Brittany, but you're really not when it comes all the way down to it. Of course, you can be more organized. Everyone can be. But there are core things that you do every day. You started by talking about, I am intentional about my day in a way. This is a great takeaway. How many touches? How many people did I touch today? And what you mean by that is, did I actually speak to? And by the way, this is my favorite thing ever when I talk to salespeople. I'm like, what'd you do today? They're like, well, I came in around 10 and then, I had some coffee and I had like 3 donuts and I emailed 1,000 people and went to lunch. I'm like, wait, what did you do? And they literally think because they emailed 1,000 people, they did something.
People hate emails. Hate them.
Yeah.
Hate them.
Yeah. So
I hate them.
I want everyone to understand that, when you say touch, it's a touch. And by the way, everyone, listen up. This is not easy. This is hard. I don't care how much you like it. Being on the phone all day talking to people is not easy. You have to be sincerely interested in the conversations. But besides the touches, Brittany, what else are you intentionally doing every day? I mean, look, if you just did that, you're going to sell 240 houses next year. I know that, but give me more.
Well, I think
give me more stuff.
The biggest thing for me is before the end of the day prior, I have a list of people or things that I need to get done for the next day. And that's usually at the priority. Like,
is it a yellow legal? Is it a yellow legal pad? Where is it?
Pad. It's a white legal pad. It's in my bag at all times.
Okay. So no technology, pen, pad.
I love pen and pad. Like, I have to, like, being able to cross off something makes me feel good.
So, so you, just so everyone knows, because everyone can do this. You know how I teach. I'm like, I love technology, but I don't want to ever hear my battery died. Like, I want you to be able to handle it. So you are literally old school, pad and pen. At the end of the day, you could be having a glass of wine. You could be relaxing, but you have that pad in front of you. And
it helps me organize my thoughts, because with emails, text messages, calendars, there's so much technology, ding, ding, ding. Like, I like to have a pad in front of me, and it's almost like a dream board almost, because I start writing down people's names that I thought about during the day. Okay. Cause how you'll be thinking, you're like, oh, I wonder what that person's doing. And then you call that person and that person's like, I was just thinking about you. I truly believe that we live in this energy spirit world, and that sometimes when somebody's thinking about you, they need you and they're putting it out to the universe. I believe in Jesus, so putting it out to God, putting it out there that they need you. And all of a sudden you'll get an idea about them, and then you call them and they're like, I was just thinking about you.
So do you, not to interrupt you, but I want to make sure that everybody gets the takeaway. So literally what you're doing, like I'm like a calendar maniac. So everybody knows, or not everybody, my wife knows, because she hazes me every night. When I don't get into bed until I've gone through the calendar in my phone, which, by the way, that's my yellow legal pad.
I do the same thing.
And I move, if I didn't do it, I move everything to the next day. So it's in my face. And I stand there and I methodically do it. I either delete it because it's done, or I move it. So at the end of the day for you, which probably means, is that like an after dinner thing, or are you doing it before family time?
When everybody's asleep.
Okay. So baby's in bed. Sorry, not baby. Your daughter's in bed, and it's kind of almost like your quiet, reflective time. You, a pad and a pen, no noise. Did I get it done? Cross through. And if I didn't, are you moving it to the next day? Do you just leave it? What do you do?
Well, my calendar is everything that I didn't do or did do. So I do move over my items like you do. Mm-hmm. The legal pad is for me it's almost like a journal. Okay. Like, it's like a journal of, what did I do today? Wins? Is there anything I need to add? Is there anything I was going to do but didn't do and didn't have it on my calendar? And then people that I thought about, and clients that are my ABCD or ABC buyers, So I know I have it on Asana. I have it on all these different technological. Yeah. But when I feel it and I write it, it like implants in my brain. And so it helps me better just to, like, it's almost like, have you ever written a book or a story and they say to just throw it, every idea, every thought, every imagination, everything you can think of, just throw it out there. That's my legal pad. every random, because I get a lot of random thoughts too. Oh, I'd love to do this. Oh, I should do this. And like I'm dreaming, oh, this would be great for marketing. And so that legal pad helps me to put all my dreams, all my challenges, all my everything during the day on paper. And that in a way it's not running around in my head and I'm not going insane.
So,
And then,
so what you're really doing is you're taking that sexy concept of dream board, which is a sexy thing that everybody has, and you literally rearrange your dream board daily.
yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's pretty cool, and I don't think a lot of people do that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Because I'm such a dreamer.
now let
I'm
me
such
ask you another
yeah.
question. I'm on just because of time. I want to get it out.
absolutely.
We could do this again too because you're fun and you got lots of information in there. Tell me about the customer experience with you, more so than the, hey, I get Brittany, who's a whirling dervish of activity, million miles an hour. Talk about the experience. How do you want your customers to feel as they go through, whether you're listing their home? By the way, that Brittany, that 121, is that a pretty good, is it a 60-60 kind of thing, listing buy sides? What do you think, ballpark? I know you're not going to know exactly.
I think our listing is about 70% and our buyers are about 30.
Okay. So what experience do you strive, with you and your people, that you want your clients to have? Obviously, look, if they're dealing with you all day, 24/7, I already know they're going to have a great experience, but let's face it, you can't sell 120 houses and have a daughter and have a husband and be talking to everyone every minute. So they're talking to other people. What do you tell your team? What has to happen or they fail, if that makes sense?
Well, my biggest thing is touching my sellers at least once a week. Or if I have a big win, like we had a great showing, I like to encourage them, because especially we're in a downshifting market right now. And so they get discouraged because they're not getting the same type of offers that they were maybe getting before, or the stories that their neighbor had, or, oh, I sold my house for this
a year
much.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're getting kind of discouraged. So my thing is when I get a good showing or I get feedback, instead of just sending it to them directly, I'm calling them. And then I try to do at least one call a week. And then I send them a market report. So that way and I send them the market report before I do like the final, run through call of like, how's your listing? Do we need to lower the price? What's going on with it? And then I ask them at the end of the call, do you know anybody else looking to buy or sell? Because we're always looking for people to help, and that I try to jam pack every single touch with as much productivity as possible. So that way, because people are afraid to ask questions, but oh well. Like, get over yourself. It's going to be, if you don't do that, you just miss an opportunity,
Okay. So you're saying now, is that something that you do not, how many active listings do you have right now? Ballpark.
I sell a lot of my listings, thank God.
How many do you normally have, ballpark?
Active, I try to keep about 10 to 12 active listings.
Okay. And is that something you do not delegate? Meaning the call to the seller, is that always Brittany?
It's always me.
Okay. So you don't delegate that?
No. Okay. Well, I try to delegate it because I want to delegate as much as possible,
right.
Especially the hard conversations, because they're hard conversations.
Right.
But the seller is hiring me. He wants me. Now if I had a listing manager, that listing manager would obviously be calling them. But if I'm the listing person and they signed with, I need to be the one that reaches out to them. Because
so
you
never delegate that.
I used to, and it actually burns me because the seller stopped feeling connected with me. And then if this listing didn't sell, they just got discouraged, and then I lost the listing.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking, and thank you for being honest. And by the way, that wasn't a tee up, by the way, everyone. We didn't talk about this before. Thank you for being honest. One of the things with real estate in general and training and coaching and whatever, you guys are told all the time by these coaches and try to delegate everything. You should only be working 2 hours a week, blah, blah, blah. And what people do is they delegate core activities that got them where they are. And then suddenly they're not where they were. And they're like, wait, what happened? I'll tell you what happened, Junior. You delegated what got you there. Yeah. There's other stuff you can delegate. There's plenty of paperwork. There's all kinds of stuff. There's, walkthroughs. There's all kinds of things you can delegate, but that's a core activity. What else is a core activity, Brittany, that you have learned there's no way you delegate? Because this is a great subject for people.
I don't really work with buyers, but now when I am getting buyer referrals, I used to just immediately connect them with someone on my team. Now I connect with them first. I make them love me. And then I like almost like a, you know,
It's a baton
hand off
pass.
the
Baton
baton. Yeah,
pass. Yeah.
exactly. And then I catch up on them, because what happens if they have no connection with me, if that person ever leaves your team, they'll never call
And
you.
and
Like,
it's
they're
even
gone.
it's even more than that, and it's a huge concept. So there's plenty of agents listening to this that have been taught, delegated immediately. I do listings. If you're a buyer, you go here. And you literally just said, no. There
People think
needs
that
to
you don't
be a
have time for them.
connection. Yeah, that's huge. And you know what? That is your best time spent. And if you're an agent and you're listening to this and you say, well, I'm too busy, I don't have time for that, you need to take a look at your business, because that is a core activity. You should never be too busy for that. You just got a referral from a happy client that said, call Brittany, she'sthebomb.com, and they never even got within 10 feet of you. They're immediately on the phone with your buyer agent or whatever. Okay, it could turn out great. There's plenty of teams that run like that. But as far as I'm concerned, that's core activity. For you to take 7, 10, 12, I don't care how many minutes to connect, for them to get the Brittany experiences, by the way, which is why they were referred to you, not because you're a buyer agent, not because of someone on your team. They were referred to you because go to Brittany. She's the deal. That's who you need to go to. You are correct. You lose business. So listing calls, active listings, all buyers now, get some Brittany love. What else is non-delegatable that you do not delegate ever?
Oh God, I don't even know. Well, unless I have to, like, I can't make it, closings. It's a valuable lesson. I used to be a waitress, that's actually where I garnered most of my people skills.
Bartender.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah.
And if you're not because you're working 100% on tips.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't have an incredible experience, guess who's not getting paid? You.
That's right.
Yeah. So my biggest thing is, when I noticed in waitressing, I could screw up throughout the whole meal. And I did, because I would get so excited. I'm like a puppy and I just forget things. But if I made them laugh, and at the end of the meal, I made them feel real good and did the soft handoff of the bill. Oh my gosh, it was so great talking to you guys. Your family sounds amazing, blah, blah, blah. I care about you. Connection. And which I did, because I love everybody.
Right.
But they gave me a bigger tip. Now, your closing, where you're going to get your reviews, where you're going to get your referrals, where you're going to get all the rest of
it's the end, right?
The big shebang. That better be a banging experience, because that is what they're going to lead off, and everybody's going to be congratulating them on social media. Congratulations, da da da. If they don't mention your name, you didn't do a good enough job. If they don't give you a shout out or give you some type of recognition, you failed. You failed at that handoff. And I think a lot of people do that.
So I want everybody to hear this. Okay. So you're going to sell 121 houses this year. And I already know you're going to sell more next year. I already know. I don't care what the market's doing down there. I know. But this is what I want everyone to hear as we come to the end here. I don't want to run out of time. This is somebody that is selling a lot of real estate. And I know a lot of y'all are listening to this right now. And maybe you're selling 1 house a month, 2 houses a month, 3 houses a month, which is great. And maybe someone got in your head, and I don't know who it was, that taught you to have this team and to delegate all this stuff. And, you're selling 30 houses a year, which, by the way, is awesome. By the way, 30 houses a year. I'm not discounting that at all. That's incredible that you're getting an award for that. That's great. But you right now, listening to me or watching me and Brittany, you are delegating things you should not be delegating. And I don't know who told you to do it, but you're hearing someone who is probably way busier than you, who is not delegating this stuff. If you're rolling your eyes and you're listening to, oh my God, going to closing. Oh my God, talking to every buyer. Oh my God, calling every active listing every week. I got 20 of them. What if I'm on the phone for a half hour? How could I do that? You are very, very wrong, because that's what you should be doing. It's all the other stuff you shouldn't be doing. So, if you're delegating those core activities, especially if your business, and Brittany has heard me say this so many times because she's come to a lot of my live stuff in New Orleans, your job is not to sell houses. Your job is to find people who know people who want to buy or sell houses, become best friends with those people, and get them to refer the people to you. Right?
And that's
your job.
Referral. Yeah.
Why? If someone refers somebody to you, to Brittany, and they don't get to talk to you, something is wrong with that. So if you're
they're gonna be
too busy, something's wrong. You need to take a look at your business because there's some other stuff that needs to be delegated that's not, or if you're that busy, you might need to hire somebody else because you're stunting the growth of your business because your brand is you. Everybody wants Brittany. You're Brittany Inc. And you need to make sure they get Brittany, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm hearing you say. I'm just paraphrasing it for everybody because you are like a puppy. You're very excited. No, but I want to make sure they hear that message because sometimes, Brittany, what happens is I have people on the show and they sell a lot of real estate like you, and they see you and you're like this big, huge personality. Oh, I can't do that. You know, they literally, and I'm going to tell you, I don't care. They don't have to look like you. They don't have to act like you. It doesn't matter. They can sell just as much real estate as you, by being focused on the right activities. And that's why sometimes I don't want to feel like I'm interrupting you, but I want to make sure I'm like clarifying the point for people.
I love that you do that.
You know what I mean?
I think that's great. If I could just have you walk around with me and clarify all of my statements, that would be a dream.
Could we get Hung Lee to pay me to do that? You think maybe?
Listen, everything's workable. Everything's negotiable.
So
write it in the contract.
So Brittany, I've been taking notes, and the one thing I put a big star next to because this is, again, by the way, everybody listening to this, the Big Joel Show is not rehearsed. I tell nobody anything. This is free flowing every single time. Zero prep for Brittany at all. And she said something that I think is so awesome. And she said, I'm a terrible salesperson. And if people, there's so many cool things in this. You should listen to this podcast 10 times, but there's so many cool things in there. But the huge takeaway is I'm a terrible salesperson. Sold 121 houses. So far, maybe you'll squeeze another one in before the end of the year, and you're a terrible salesperson. What an awesome statement that everyone should just own, because that is the right way to be thinking. Because if you're trying to sell people stuff, you're not going to sell anything to anybody. You got to be real, and I would say you're kind of real. You're pretty real.
Oh, I'm too real sometimes. They're like, I don't need to know that much information.
Yeah,
I'm like, want to know what I ate yesterday?
Yeah, I could probably guess. So we're at the end of the clock now. Okay, but will you do this again with me? Because there's a lot more stuff we didn't even get to talk about. A ton of stuff, but there's huge takeaways. And I just want to really thank you for being on. And I look forward to. I'll probably see you when I'm down there in March. But thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Joel. It was great. I'm gonna go back and listen to it, because I need to learn some more. One thing too, if I can give anything, always be learning, because you don't know jack crap.
And Brittany, how do they, so on social media, you're just Brittany, Picolo -Ramos, no?
Oh, just go to the Picolo-Ramos team.
Picolo-Ramos team, if they want to see what you're posting, if they want to just see how you roll, contact you. Maybe
exactly.
Are you open to questions if someone had a question or wanted to talk to you?
No.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. She's extremely open, and she'd be glad to talk to anybody listening to this. So thank you again. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please share it on Facebook. Hit that share button. Share it with your friends. If you're consuming it in other ways, YouTube, iTunes, Vimeo, whatever. Please give us a like on there. We appreciate it.